We're a nation that's full of destruction, but have you ever really asked yourself who's destroying us? Well, I really won't reveal that answer until later on in the speech. For now, just go ahead and imagine, what if your body was willingly destroying itself by willingly ingesting harmful substances? Or also think about a business firm willingly driving itself into bankruptcy, or maybe somebody who has a home and willingly burns it down to the ground. Well, none of that really has much logic to it, and you're right, it's not logical at all. But think about what Abraham Lincoln said: if destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men, we must live through all times or die by suicide. This is a quote that is confirmed he said, but there's also another quote that came from this that says, America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. That there is the answer. We are destroying ourselves. Our nation is destroying our nation. I believe that as Americans, we should all take this quote into consideration, and even though it sounds like a cliche, you have to understand that we're all responsible for our actions, whether it's all as a nation or just as an individual. If you want to correlate this quote to something that's going on in the world or a story that you know of, it's not that hard to look back into our history. We can actually just look back into a couple weeks. The government shutdown is a big example of how our nation is destroying itself. First of all, we have people whose checks have been delayed and others who are not even receiving a check. We have a government who is not coming to an agreement, and we have a president who is just pointing fingers. As an example of this, we have a president who has gone out and published a video sending it to the troops and saying that he is not responsible for the shutdown. He is saying that the Congress is solely responsible for it. In addition to this, you keep hearing non-essential. Non-essential personnel have been relieved of their duties as far as the federal aspect. But if you really think about it, they have not been relieved of their lively duties at home, and they have not been relieved of their financial duties at home. Therefore, this shutdown is affecting their lives personally, and the government seems to not care about it. Therefore, I think we should all think about, what are you going to do about it? How are we going to change this? How are we going to get rid of this destruction? And how are we going to build our nation back up? Obviously, we're destroying ourselves. We're guilty of it, and it's a shame. And the sources I use for this speech come from unQuote and an article, 8 Things to Know About the Shutdown by Andy Miller.